violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shootout Realm? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
I'm Morgan Ashley with this nonstop local news update. We just got some cell phone video after Shawn Kemp was reportedly arrested by police in Western Washington. Cairo TV in Seattle provided the video following reports that the NBA All-Star was booked into the Pierce County Jail on drive-by shooting charges.
Wow. So you have former Seattle Sonics player Shawn Kemp arrested for a drive-by shooting in what appears to be maybe a road rage situation. This is one of the OGs from back in the day in the NBA. There's no excuse for this. He knows better. He is an OG. He is an elder. We've already got enough NBA players acting a fool like Ja Morant. And for this to be happening, it just shows what I've been saying. These super athletic gremlins are on demon time.
Kemp played for the Seattle Supersonics in the 90s. According to Tacoma police there was some type of argument or fight between the drivers of two different vehicles this afternoon. Shots were fired in a parking lot. Now, thankfully, nobody got hurt, but a gun was found at the scene, and 53-year-old Shawn Kemp was arrested. Here's a look at that booking information. We'll continue to follow this and update you as we learn more.
A former NBA star is in custody after being connected to a drive-by shooting investigation in Washington State. Officials say Shawn Kemp was arrested yesterday as part of their investigation into the alleged shooting. Police were called to the Tacoma Mall after shots were exchanged between two groups in separate vehicles. Authorities say one of the drivers fired several rounds at the passengers. No injuries were reported, and Kemp was arrested at the scene. He is a six-time NBA All-Star who played 14 seasons in the NBA.
Where former Supersonics legend Shawn Kemp has now been behind bars for 12 hours. Kemp was arrested last night for a drive-by shooting outside the Tacoma Mall.
Yeah, I was surprised, woke up, got all those emails from the newsroom. What? Yeah, Kevin Coe is live in Tacoma, and boy, Kevin, this happened just before 2 o'clock.
I mean, everybody's surprised, everybody's shocked, but should we really be surprised? Because this is the behavior that we're starting to see. A lot of these OG basketball players, NBA players who, you know, those were the guys who were starting to get those bigger contracts. I guess they've kind of spent a lot of their money, maybe didn't get into the right investments, and they're crashing out at this point. I told you guys we live in a crash out culture, specifically in the community, but we live in a crash out culture, and these people are crashing out every single day. It's ridiculous.
Yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, Michelle, and what is pretty much the perfect response to this? This is Shawn Kemp, a Seattle Sonics legend we are talking about here. He was booked into the Pierce County Jail last night at 5:58. That is 4 hours after the reported shooting that happened right here outside the Tacoma Mall. I also looked online. It looks like he is booked on one felony charge for a drive-by shooting. Records also show that he is set to appear before a judge later today at 1:30. Now, video taken by someone, a man named Brandon, he was just nearby when this shooting broke out yesterday. He says he saw a man in a red vest waving his arms and pointing at a black SUV. Moments later, the man in the red vest gets into a Porsche and drives off. That man in the red vest was Shawn Kemp. Cairo 7 has also confirmed the Porsche in that video is registered to Kemp as well. Tacoma police say there was some kind of altercation between Kemp and someone, or maybe a group of people in another car.
Wow, so I mean, he's beefing. He's got the manufactured ops situation going on, most likely. Picking fights with random people. I don't know specifically what went on. And maybe it could be self-defense. He's already been able to bond out for a drive-by shooting that could have deleted somebody and surely endangered the lives of many people in that area. But I mean, he's a free man now, and he's gonna have to be held accountable for discharging his firearm. But you know, it really just doesn't make sense, and it's never worth that unless you were legitimately defending your life.
Detectives say Kemp fired off several rounds at the other car, and then that other vehicle fled the area, and it's unclear if Tacoma police ever found them. However, officers arrested Kemp without any issues shortly after the shooting. Officers also say they found a gun on scene as well. We also spoke with the person who took that cell phone video, who saw Kemp in what appeared to be a red vest yesterday. You'll hear from him coming up in 30 minutes. Back to you.
All right, we will see you then. Thank you, Kevin. Live in Tacoma this morning.
Fox tonight, former Seattle Supersonics basketball star and one-time Portland Trailblazer Shawn Kemp was arrested today on a drive-by shooting charge.
It happened at around 2 p.m. outside of the Tacoma Mall, according to Tacoma police officers who responded to a confrontation between people in two cars, and one of the drivers fired several shots at the people in the other car. They say that no one was hurt, but they did arrest a 53-year-old man.
Tacoma police did not.
My man is 53 years old. That's wild. Still moving reckless. Still moving like he is on demon time.
Not name Kemp as the suspect arrested, but according to the Pierce County jail roster, Shawn Kemp is the person who was booked. Our news partners at Cairo 7 in Seattle have also confirmed that one of the cars at the shooting scene is registered in Kemp's name.
Well, Kemp played for the Seattle Supersonics at the height of his career between 1989 and 1997. He also played for the Portland Trailblazers between 2000 and 2002. Kemp is a 6-time NBA All-Star. We'll continue to follow this story and bring you the latest as we learn more.
So guys, from what I'm understanding and what I'm reading, he was arrested, but there were no charges filed. So that's very interesting. I'm not sure what exactly is going on here, but I'm reading this article right now and they're saying no charges filed. He was arrested, but it says no charges will be filed pending further investigation by the Tacoma Police Department. Wow. I mean, these dudes are getting away with a lot, man. So you can't blame white supremacy for this one.
A lot of questions this morning after Seattle Supersonics legend Shawn Kemp is in custody after an alleged drive-by shooting in Tacoma.
According to sources close to Kemp, the shooting was in self-defense. Fox 13's Brian Flores has been digging into this story. Good morning to you, Brian.
Hey, guys. Good morning. Well,
there we go. So it was in self-defense. Thank goodness. It looks like some super gremlins might have rolled up on Shawn Kemp. Okay. And he was ready. That's crazy. So let's listen up to see what happened.
Well, as of this morning, you guys, at least according to the Pierce County Corrections, Kemp remains in custody after an allegation that he was connected to what they describe as a drive-by shooting outside the Tacoma Mall. Now, we obtained this video of Kemp after the altercation outside the mall here. As he approached the vehicle, we understand the suspect shot at him and he fired back in self-defense. But there are still obviously a lot of questions about exactly what happened. We know the shooting followed again some sort of altercation, according to Tacoma police. Investigators say it involved two vehicles, and police add that one of the drivers stayed while the other left the scene. Now,
so it looks like he did the right thing, got booked in, and I just hope he's okay. It looks like it was self-defense, thank goodness. But anybody can get caught lacking anywhere. Wow, I mean, if Buddy was shooting at him, he shot back. It's still reckless. It's still reckless behavior, but at the end of the day, you do have to protect yourself. I mean, hostilities are just rising in the community. You can't get away from it.
Many know, of course, Kemp's basketball career, but more recently, he's been known as a businessman throughout the community. Right now, he and his business partners are operating 2 Kemp's cannabis locations, one in Soto and one in Belltown. The opening of the Belltown location in 2020 marked the first black-owned marijuana dispensary in Seattle. Kemp was all.
So could that have been what it was about? Maybe a marijuana deal gone wrong? Sheesh. Even though it's legal, I mean, dudes is still whacking people over that for sure.
Also the owner of Oscar's Kitchen, a sports bar in Lower Queen Anne that actually closed down in 2015, and also a part of Amber's Kitchen on First Avenue as well. Police say overall nobody was hurt. There's also no reports of damage to any buildings or cars at this time, but obviously the investigation continues, and we'll continue to follow that as well. In the newsroom, Brian Flores, Fox 13 News.
Yo, what's good, BGZM News 17 family? I'm at the corner of Jesse Jackson and Marcus Garvey, and I got some bad news for you. As you can see, I lost my job. I'm out here living in cardboard boxes outside of boarded up vacant homes. YouTube said I'm done getting money out here in these streets. They even took my funky ass suit. So anything right now would help. So go ahead and hit that Cash App, hit that PayPal, hit that GoFundMe, hell, cop the merch. Or if you want to make the long-term commitment to the Jinquavius Jackson Fund, join the Patreon so that I can continue to put out top-notch content each and every day. Also, check out the Rumble, where there is absolutely no censorship. Link in the description box below.
Hey, yo, ain't that nigga Jinquavius? Yo, I recognize.
No, that's not me no more.
Hey, yo, run your pocket.
Y'all tell me what they say.
Do the opposite of Antonio Brown and take
What
all your
more
shit
do
off.
you want from me?
First tonight, breaking news into the King 5 newsroom. Former Supersonic Shawn Kemp has been arrested in connection with a drive-by shooting in Tacoma.
King 5's Lionel Donovan is live at the Pierce County Jail tonight. Lionel, police say this all was linked to a crime at the mall earlier today.
That is correct, and we're actually getting this information out almost immediately. According to Pierce County's jails roster, a Shawn Travis Kemp was booked into the Pierce County Jail just before 6 p.m. today for a drive-by shooting. Now, the NBA legend and 6-time NBA All-Star recently made the news just a few weeks ago by opening a new dispensary in Seattle's Soto neighborhood. Now, according to the Tacoma Police Department, with a press release that was just released a few minutes ago, a 53-year-old suspect was arrested earlier today in connection to a shooting in the parking lot of the Tacoma Mall. No injuries were reported, but police say responding officers arrived at around 1:58 p.m.
So, I mean, good thing nobody was hurt, but still the reality that you can just find yourself in a situation like this is extremely troubling. This is the reality that we live in, where you can't go anywhere without getting ran up on, or some altercation with another brother is you know, going to the extreme or highest level of violence.
And determined that an altercation had occurred between two parties in vehicles. One of the drivers fired off several rounds at the occupants of the other vehicle, and the victim's vehicle fled the area. Officers located the suspect who had fired off the shots on the property and detained them without incident, and a firearm was recovered at the scene. Now, as I was saying before, this information is still coming out, but we'll sure that as more information comes out, we'll make sure to make that available to you at 9, 10, and 11 o'clock. But for now, that is the story. We are here in downtown Tacoma. Lionel Donovan, King 5 News.
But first, we are following breaking news. Seattle Supersonics legend Shawn Kemp has been booked into jail in Pierce County in connection with a drive-by shooting. Fox 13 obtained this video of Kemp outside the Tacoma Mall. The person who sent it to us says it was taken just before Kemp was arrested. And now, new at 10, sources close to Kemp tell me he had property stolen from his car yesterday. He tracked his iPhone to Tacoma, and when he approached the vehicle, a suspect shot at him.
So there you have it. Somebody stole his phone. He found his iPhone. He pulled up on him, and we have the complete story here. So, in his defense, he was just trying to get his phone back. He ran up on the Super Gremlins. They bust at him. He busts back. I mean, it's mutual combat at this point. Hopefully, he can identify the individuals that shot at him. That way he can get a license plate or something. But, I mean, the fact that you got people in the community who are stealing from this brother in general is just sad, man. It's sad.
He fired back in self-defense. But there are still a lot of questions about exactly what happened that we're trying to sort out. So thanks for joining us. I'm David Rose.
And I'm Jamie Tompkins. We're following the story from every angle. Fox 13's Jennifer Dowling has been working to get answers about how all of this happened. So, Jen, what are you learning tonight?
Well, we know the shooting followed some sort of altercation in a parking lot near the Tacoma Mall. That's according to Tacoma police. Investigators say it involved two vehicles, with police adding that one of the drivers stayed while the other left the scene.
This is cell phone video taken by a passerby as police responded to a shooting in a parking lot near the Tacoma Mall. That person believes it shows former basketball star Shawn Kemp around the time the shots were fired. Although police...
And I mean, he did the right thing by staying, and that's why they let him go. So, I mean, yes, it's embarrassing for the headline, but hey, it's self-defense. It's definitely not the same situation as a Ja Morant who's putting himself in danger. This guy was just trying to recollect his belongings and find a thief. So I'm not mad at it.
Have yet to comment on what is shown here on this video. A spokesperson for Tacoma Police says a call came in about the shooting off of South Steel just before 2 p.m. on the northeast side of the mall near the Courtesy Tire store. Tacoma Police spokesperson Wendy Haddow says no one was hit in the shooting and that initially a 53-year-old man was detained at the scene and questioned. Multiple sources have since confirmed to Fox 13 that Shawn Kemp is the suspect and was ultimately arrested. This is a huge development, as many of you may know Kemp is a former NBA superstar who spent most of his career with the Supersonics. He's also a well-known local businessman who recently has opened 2 cannabis shops in the Seattle area, including this shop in Belltown. Today's incident would not be Kemp's first run-in with the law. In 2005, Kemp was arrested in Shoreline for investigation of drug possession. In 2006, he was involved in another drug investigation in Texas. Shawn Kemp was drafted by the Seattle Supersonics in the first round of the 1989 NBA draft. From 1989 to 1997, he played 625 games with the Sonics and helped to get them to the NBA Finals in 1996. In 2022, Kemp was part of the campaign to bring an NBA franchise.
Boy, that man's sweating.
Back to Seattle, telling the Athletic Sports website he wouldn't stop until the city got, quote, the actual Sonics back.
And police said in addition to no injuries, there are also no reports of damage to any buildings or vehicles at this time. Back to you in the studio.
Gang violence and other kind of violence. So it is what it is.